Taxes and LLCs explained for wholesaling real estate. Now, you might be like, Zach, what in the world are you talking about? Why are you making a video on taxes? Why are you making a video on LLCs? This is the most boring thing in the world. Well, I'll be honest with you. When you start making the real moolah, it's kind of important. But also, the most important part about it is almost all of you guys are going to create an LLC for wholesaling real estate. The truth is, if you spend at least $1,000 or $2,000 in marketing, you could be saving a ton of money. And the main issue we're talking about this today is, number one, if you could save more money, then you get to spend more money on marketing, get more deals. So this is a way you can start making a ton more money in wholesaling real estate. And we're going to give away free LLCs today too, which we're going to talk about. So we're going to be able to talk about that too. But we got a massive announcement where it was part of our big announcement Monday, but we'll talk about a little more. But what I want to do today is explain how taxes and LLCs work for wholesaling real estate. So the first question, which I'm going to answer, is do you have to pay taxes when you wholesale houses? The answer is, unfortunately, yes. So wholesaling real estate is a legal way to get wholesaling real estate is a legal way to make money in this business. In the real estate business, you can legally make money wholesaling. Unfortunately, because it's legal, you have to pay the IRS. That's the main issue. But we're going to talk about exactly why you should get an LLC. And even if you don't make any money wholesaling, why you actually save more money with an LLC versus not. And I promise not to make it boring.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, let's get into it.
Let's break it down. So the main reason why we're kind of talking about and explaining this today is the average wholesaler that actually starts making money, which is a lot of you guys, right? So we are the number one most successful community for wholesaling. We kind of did the math, and I'll show you a couple of charts here and everything, but like, let me just show you the skinny of why it's important to have an LLC and why it's important to kind of know how to do taxes the right way. And so I want to kind of get started on a tale of two wholesalers here. And this should pretty much explain exactly kind of why I'm doing what I'm doing and why I'm trying to explain this this way. So if you kind of look at a chart here, right, of kind of I'm calling it like the tale of two wholesalers here because it's going to show you the difference between these wholesalers. So let's pop this one up right here. And let me just show you what I mean. So if we're making, let's do a decent income. Okay. Let's do 190. Let's say you're making $190,000. All right. In wholesaling. And you're doing it without an LLC because that's how most of you guys do it. You make you run up 190 grand and you're like, oh, what do I do? Well, the main issue here is if you run up 190 grand, let's say this example is the state of California, and you do not have an LLC and you do not write anything off, first and foremost, you can get sued, but we're not going to talk about that. You're going to pay on average $63,000 in taxes without having an LLC. Obviously, because you don't know how to do the write-offs. Now, if you actually had, let's say for this example, the best way is this is not law advice. This is what, AI and many people do. And I did the math myself. If you had basically an S Corp, you would only pay 32 grand in taxes. Let me pop that up. So you would pay about $32,000 in taxes. So you'd save almost 30, and this is not tax advice, by the way. This is not legal advice. We'll tell you who to get it from later. But you would save on average, just doing rough numbers, $30,000 by just making an LLC, which we'll show you how you can do that for free. And then just using a tax accountant, which might cost you $1,000 to $2,000 after you make the money right. Only costs $1,000 and you'll save 30 grand. And then that's over the lifetime and some other things on there. And so that's kind of why it's so important we have to talk about today, because first and foremost, nobody knows how LLCs work. And probably the big one is a lot of you guys make LLCs. That's kind of the big one. You guys already make an LLC because a lot of you guys have X Leads Ninja mode, right? Mm-hmm. And you need it. You need the EIN number. Well, you already have an LLC now. You might as well just use it to do a bunch of write-offs and save a bunch of money. I mean, that's just kind of the point here, right? Yep. The average wholesaler, we've kind of done the math. If they made an LLC, they would save around $3 grand a year. Yep. It's insane. Let's talk about it.
Okay. So here's the reality. I'm going to give you a basic story here, how I started with it. And I want this to be interactive. And the more honest you guys are, the better you'll understand what the message we're trying to get across to you. Number one, let me pull this up here.
Oh, we're getting it going here.
Okay.
All right. So there we go. All right, you're good.
Fix it. Okay. So I want to know if this story rings true on it. Um, so how do most wholesalers set up their wholesaling business structure? And just you don't even have to answer. Just give me a yes in the comments if you do it. So you go, what do you do? What's your requirement? You open it up an LLC, right?
Yep.
Not doesn't take like
Not that
rocket
hard.
science to do it, right? And we go through that. You open up with your state, and what's the next thing you do? You get an EIN number from the IRS. And then you know what? What do you do after that? And honestly, if you do these 1, 2, 3, just be brutally honest, because this is what I did. I'm done. I did it. I open up my LLC. I have an EIN number. I am good to go. I am wholesaling proof. I'm not going to partner with the United States government. And I'm here to tell you, if you did that 1, 2, 3 step process, please pay attention today, because if you don't fix it, it is going to cost you a fortune. It could wind up costing you personal assets. I'm telling you, this is how I started. It took me 7 years to rectify this mess. And here's the really cool part is the question is, okay, why do we do steps 1, 2, 3 on normal? And the reality is you just don't know. And you take advice from inexperienced people that have no idea what you're doing. And most of you guys are DIY, which is, there's not a problem with it.
Yeah.
And then the reality is I don't have any money right now. I don't want to pay it. So everything I'm going to show you today, I'm going to show you how to do it 100% for free. I'm not giving you tax or legal advice. I'm just giving you ideas as a wholesaler. I've been doing this 23 years. I've been down every type of rabbit hole you can go on it. And so if you did that 1, 2, 3, just let me know in the comments, because that's what most people do. Let me give you another example to show you why I know I'm right on this. And I'm not picking on you guys' comments. I love when you interact, but like right here, when I know of one. One says, if you have a rental property, just go get an LLC in Wyoming. You're protected with privacy. Like, Juan, I love you. It's really bad advice to give that. And then you go, well, in case your tenant or someone tries to sue you. So where's Juan out of?
Juan's in Houston.
He's not in Wyoming, is he?
No.
One, you have to go through 3 additional steps, or your tenant is going to clean your clock. Do you know you have to file the lawsuit in the state where the property resides? So if I have a Wyoming corporation, and what state's in? Texas?
Texas.
And guess what? Your property's in Texas. Unless you went through the proper registration of registering a foreign entity, your law, you can't.
It's called piercing the corporate veil.
You can't do it. Like, they're going to go after you personally. And like, I'm just like, Juan, trust me, I've done this, and I'm just trying to show. I'm just trying to make a point here. I could do this
He's
all
right,
day long.
but you got to do it the correct way.
If you don't do it the correct way, you actually have the opposite of what you think you have protection.
They're also going to say, Juan, where's your articles of incorporation?
We're going to go over that.
And they're going to do the whole like thing. Where do you set up the business bank account? It's like, it's 5,000 things.
Yeah.
And so you are correct, but you have to do it the right way.
So I've been through this. I've been through lawsuits, and like, I love Wyoming. Here's the reason why people use Wyoming. It keeps your identity private, and it's super easy. I agree. But we can't just do stuff because we think it's easy. Because when you go to court and you sit down with a lawyer, he's like, what'd you do that for? And you go, well, so-and-so told me, or I read a comment off the internet, it's not going to work. So I'm not picking on one. I'm just proving a point here. You have to go to extra steps, because you can't go back in time and fix it after a lawsuit's filed. Also, one, if you need to evict someone, if you have not registered correctly, you can't even evict them legally, because the state doesn't recognize your corporation in that state. So we have to be very, very careful on how we do this.
Yeah.
So let's walk through the basics on this. So if we did that, we did the 1, 2, 3 process. Why did we do it? It's all we know. It's DIY, do it yourself. It's cheap. And then you go, hey, I can't afford professional advice. I'm guilty. This is the exact strategy I did. It cost me, I can't even tell you what it cost me. Now, be fair, back when I started wholesaling 2003, it wasn't easy to get advice, because honestly, there wasn't really a mainstream way to do this. So So let's review the process. I want to simplify this because I've never, ever seen someone come on in here and just break down what is the tax strategy for a wholesaler. So once again, me and Zach are not giving you legal or CPA advice. I'm just giving you ideas so you can have an open conversation with whoever you're going to use. We'll give you suggestions, but either way, you'll have a strategy before you leave. So the first thing, let's talk about an LLC. What's an LLC stand for?
Limited liability company.
Yeah, great. Awesome. So guys, here's what an LLC, it just separates you from your company. That's it. It's in there, limited liability. Separates you. Why? If you ever get sued on a contract, if you ever get sued, it protects your personal assets, your home, your car, keeps your loved ones out of it. And so we have to understand it. This is the legal part of wholesaling. It's the legal part, but there is a two-step process you have to understand because anybody can file an LLC because the state loves to collect the money, and that's what they want to do. So let me pull this up here. So the next one is
FYI, split this up. So hold on. There you go.
Got it. So we did the LLC. We already showed that. So let's go to step 2 that most wholesalers do. We get the EIN because your bank, why do you do it? Because you can't open a bank account with it. Otherwise, you guys probably wouldn't do it till tax time. Let's be brutally honest. And you need an EIN for A2P.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
So a lot of you guys are making LLCs and EINs and not doing the right way. So just FYI.
And if you're thinking, well, Rick, the reason I don't do it, I can't afford to do it. I'm going to solve that today. Yeah. No longer do you have to sit back and wait till you make money to figure out these strategies, because you have to understand who here wants the correct process for setting up a wholesaler business structure. Free. I'm just going to give it to you.
It sounds so boring. You got to do you got to make it sound better.
I know, but it's
how to set up an LLC so you don't pay, so you can legally pay the least amount of taxes. That's how I would say it.
Correct.
So the reason why we're making this video is a lot of you guys are going to end up, and we're a victim of our own success. Guys, we can make another video about how to get a wholesaling deal. We just released our entire course, the brand new, for free at freewholesaling.com and on ZachDiscord.com. You go there, run up a couple $100,000. Now you're gonna be like, well, I got to pay 70 grand in taxes. I'm gonna show you how to pay 30 grand in taxes, save you 40 bands, which is a lot of dang money. So you could spend that, just keep your $40,000.
Okay.
So that's why we're sharing what we're doing.
So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to walk through the actual correct process. You can refer back to this video, and at least you understand how it's set up. How you decide to go forward, you have a few options, and you want to understand them. And I know you're thinking, like, I don't want to deal with this till down the road. The problem is, to start wholesaling, you have to file the paperwork up front. And how you file that paperwork is going to determine how much you pay in taxes. So please don't forget it. So let's jump into it. So first thing, as we established earlier, we're going to set up the legal part, setting up the LLC. We form an LLC. How do I do that? So I saw questions. Do I have to file one in every state? No, you don't.
No.
The reality is you typically do it in the state you reside. That's my recommendation to you. There's more advanced tax strategies. We're not to get into it. We're just talking about the basic setup. So what do? So you go to the state and you basically set up an LLC by filing an articles of organization. Now, this is just a template. It's
of incorporation or organization?
Of incorporation.
Corporation.
So this is articles of incorporation or articles of organization. It's some states do it a little bit differently. It's the same thing. So it's just a template. You fill it out. I don't get in the details. You pay your state fee, which is between $100 and $200, depending on what state it is. Some states you got to wait. Some of them you get instantly. That's it. You have an LLC. That's the easy part. Everybody understand that. So what you have to understand is your articles of incorporation or organization is public. This is what you can look at, I can look at, Zach can look at, and this is how they find out who the owners are, the directors. Some states have privacy laws. Nevada used to be crazy. Wyoming, Delaware, you can kind of keep going down it. So that's public. Any of us can do it. You don't really need a consultant to do it, although I'm going to tell you why that's not the greatest advice ever. So if we understand that, let me go back up here. The next one is we have to file. We don't have to file. We have to create an operating agreement. Now, Some states actually have a service where they'll give you a template for it. I'm going to advise against you not doing it because there's templates all over the internet. And all it is, so you understand, is the rules and structure of how your organization runs. We're setting up a bank account at Bank of America. We're 50% partners, 50-50. In the case there's a dissolution, we split up assets 50%. You can do stocks depending on what it is, but it's basically just your rules for ownership of the company. Now, the cool thing is, as I said, that part's private. Now, once you guys, if you're going to work with real banks and stuff like that, they're going to ask for this. And if you go, the hell's he talking about? I don't even know what I like. You want my articles of organization and corporation? No. I need your operating agreement. And they're like, I don't. Now you got to be careful who you share your operating agreement with. Title companies now request it. Banks request it. It's becoming more of a mainstream document. And you don't have to show them the whole thing. You can just show them the page where it specifies ownership details. I do that a lot. Now, once we do that, so we have the articles with the state, and then we have your operating agreement, private and public, other way around, but that's it. So, and then the next step you guys do is you go over to the IRS and you apply for an EIN number. Pretty straightforward. You go, I got an LLC, and this is the tax part. And this is what most of you just fall asleep on it. And here's the most important slide I'm going to show you. You don't have to get in the weeds on it, but I want you to understand. Once you file that EIN number from that date I'm not giving you tax advice, but on average, from my experience, you have 75 days to make a designation of how you're going to be taxed for the rest of your life as a wholesaler. And if you screw this up, you might have to wait one entire business year to correct it. And to correct it, just, on average, it takes 6 to 9 months for the IRS to fix the classification. It's an absolute nightmare.
Well, let me explain that, because you're like talking crazy about this. There's 3 classifications a business can be. It can be an LLC, an S Corp, or a C Corp, or even a sole proprietorship. But your designation, you can designate to be an LLC by default, S Corp, or a C Corp. So you have to figure out what that is. Now, the example I showed you of the wholesaler that will pay $63,000 in taxes versus 32, there's a lot of nuances here. So, for example, for the S Corp, if you make under 190 grand, you can be qualified for the Section 199A deduction. Now, I'm not trying to confuse anyone here, but basically you can write off about 20% of your revenue. Most people don't know how to, you have to do that. It's very complicated how you do it. That's why we're going to help you out with this. But pretty much what this means is you have to be designated as an S Corp to get that. Not a C Corp, not an LLC. Very, very confusing doing it by yourself, trust me. And there's very important how you classify it. So that Form 8832 will show you which one you want to be. Again, this is why you have to talk to an actual person that knows more than you and me of your situation and which one you should be doing or not.
So let me give you an example. On that form is, it depends. If you're just doing business by yourself or you have a partner, it just how many members you have. And then here's what happens, just to give you an idea. Let me pull it up and so you have 75 days from the date you file that EIN number.
That popped up right there.
Yeah. So most people don't know this. It's actually baked into your EIN letter you get from the IRS. So I'll tell you, you have to make a designation form 8832. Now, I don't know about you. I had no idea what this was, what the implications were. It carried with me for 7 years. I overpaid taxes for 7 years. I paid hundreds of thousands of dollars extra because I didn't understand this part. And if someone just gave me a 5 or 10 minute education, it would have changed. Like, I would have saved a lot of money. So here's what happens. Say 75 days goes by. And then where did I put this? People say, what happens if you don't do anything with the 8832, which is predominantly what 9 out of 10 people do with this, meaning they never make a designation. Guess what? The IRS is going to make a decision for you. And they're going to solely base it on the number of owners. So it'll be, without getting the details, because I'm not a certified public accountant. You can be a sole proprietor, a multi-member, a partnership. So most of you file on your own, and then you don't do the 8832. And the IRS goes, okay, sole proprietor. So I want you to understand what the net effect is. You're basically, the LLC separates you from your company, but whatever income you get washes through to your personal tax return.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. So I'm just telling you guys that form 8832 is everything. Now, I don't think you need to concentrate and spend all your energy studying the 8832 form. Is you just need to get some basic advice. Now, we're all a little bit different in how we operate our businesses, but you shouldn't be guessing this one on your own. It has massive, massive implications on how you're going to be taxed for that current business year and basically the rest of your life as a wholesaler. So if you don't understand this form, you got to get an education, because once you get that EIN number, you're now on the what we call the shot clock. And it's easy to designate in that 75 days. After that, I find it extremely, extremely difficult. You'll be on the phone for hours with the IRS. You're going to be doing certified mail, and your accountant's going to go, did you get that designation? Did you fix it? And you have to wait and do it from there. So,
Okay, go up one.
Okay, sorry about that. So everybody, when you say 8832 is, if you don't do anything and you make an error, which I did multiple times, you have to wait an entire calendar year to change your business designation. And that means if you're filing your taxes or you're having a CPA do it, you are stuck with what you got defaulted with the IRS. Oh, I didn't know. And I'm just telling you, when I did this, I did what most of you did. I got an LLC, I got an EIN number, opened up a bank account, and that was it. And then I go, hey, I made some money. And the CPA goes, good news, bad news. Good news, you made a lot of money. Bad news is you're the partner with the United States government. And I don't want you to do that. So what I want to do right now is review the 3 key areas you have to understand to fully appreciate and understand how taxes work for the common wholesaler. And it's broken down in 3 different areas. And no matter what you do, in a perfect world, you would have somebody navigate all this together, or at least quarterback it for you. So, number 1, you have to have a tax strategy. And that really comes to play when you form your LLC, because not only are you doing a legal designation, but you are making a commitment to the IRS, and you're telling them, and you can't keep changing your mind. And just because you didn't know when you opened it up, the IRS doesn't care. I already tried it. I've tried to talk to them. I've tried to reason with them. They don't care. They go, hey, that's it. It washed through your personal taxes. That's how you have to pay it. So a tax strategy. Now, most of you think, oh my God, that sounds expensive. It's not. You just have to have a basic understanding. The tax code's created so you can change as your business grows, but it can't change every month.
Nope.
So most of you that form your LLC is how you're going to set up your business probably for the first 3 to 5 years. And as you can grow, you can switch over to, you can do an S corporation, you can do a C corporation, but it's important you understand the entity classification, which is the 8832. I know it's boring as hell, but I'm telling you guys, this is like doing 10 or 15 flips if you do it right, because you cannot go back in time and fix it. It's a nightmare. So the next one you got to understand is bookkeeping. I know. And I know what you guys are going to say, Rick, I do QuickBooks. I can do QuickBooks.
You got to explain what bookkeeping is.
So bookkeeping is just tracking your income and expenses and getting details. And here's the challenge is,
most people don't even know how to do it.
Yeah. So most of you put it up in your head. Be honest with me. Tell me if you do it off your checking account, because that's not bookkeeping. That's called reconciliation. And the thing is, the longer you wait to record the records, the longer the story gets. And you get into drama with your bookkeeper or your accountant, and you got to keep clean books. If you don't keep clean books, there's no CPA, there's no tax advisor, there's no tax strategy that can help you out.
You also have to do it on your tax returns.
Correct.
You have to actually show your assets. You have to show it all in there.
We're going to go over it, but like bookkeeping, it's a discipline. So if we tell you, if you're trying to make 500 cold calls in a day and you go, I'm just going to do 10. And you don't have structure with it, your bookkeeping is going to probably go a similar way. I'm like, I'll get to it when I get slow. And the reality is, some of you do it on your own. Some of you will hire people, but bookkeeping is about keeping tidy books. And most wholesalers avoid this. Number 1, it can be painful because you don't know what you're doing. Number 2, If you're not making a lot of money, it's hard to look at. I don't know about you, but when I had a really low balance in my bank account, I didn't want to look at it. The red number scared the shit out of me. Sorry. But we have to do it, because if you don't do it, it's going to cost you a fortune. There's no way to have a tax strategy without some basic bookkeeping. And guys, I'm telling you, it's not as expensive as you think it is. And those of you who think you do it yourself and save money, I'm here to tell you, you're better off served chasing around motivated sellers than doing bookkeeping. It can be done for a minimal amount, because most of your first year is really not that heavy. But we have to create a discipline. We have to do it.
AI is not going to do it yet. I've tried very hard, but AI is not going to see what that Amazon cost was, and it's not going to tell you what that was. It not yet. Maybe it will in the future. But the AI bookkeepers are not it right now.
Yeah. So we went through 1 and 2, and number 3 here is just tax preparation. It is filing your taxes. And what you've got to understand is you have to have a strategy for your business and your personal. Maybe your significant other works and they got a W-2 job and you have a wholesale job. There's real great strategies.
You're not talking about the most important point of this. If you file taxes yourself, which you can do, there's no problem in that.
Yeah.
2 things are most likely going to happen statistically. You are going to get some letters from the IRS, which is the scariest thing in the world. And number 2 is you're probably most likely going to put something wrong if you try to do it by yourself. Now, I'm not going to get in the whole politics of this, but filing your taxes is hard on purpose. Number 1, it's supposed to frustrate you so you don't write anything off and you just kind of eat the tax. And number 2, companies like Rocket Mortgage. What's it? What's the big one? Rocket.
HR Block. Or
HR Block's one of them. TurboTax.
Right? Yeah.
They lobby millions, if not billions of dollars in their lifetime to make sure it's hard to file taxes. So you have to spend the money to go use them.
Correct.
Big company, they make it confusing on purpose, by the way, just FYI.
And guys, here's where we're going to talk about an education on taxes. If you'll just take the time to learn it, I'm not talking about like months. I'm talking about a couple hours just studying it and understanding it. For a wholesaler, you can understand how it works and you can take full advantage of it. You see, the United States tax system's simple. It's like Monopoly. You play Monopoly, right? You can go around the board and not buy a dang thing and collect your $200, and me and people like me and Zach will clean your clock all the way around. It's the same thing with taxes. Those that read the rules and comply and use the legal loopholes will pay the least amount in taxes. If not, like a W-2 employee, what do? You pay your taxes, you take your standard deductions, and that's it. You don't have a choice and you're stuck. And it's easy for them, but they're penalized the most. And you're usually the most frustrated in it. And you have to understand how that process works. So there's
a lot of nuances too. For example, if you want to write off meals, which I'm not going to say we do or not, but I will tell you this: when you and I were in LA in Koreatown, and we had to go to some stupid Michelin star Korean barbecue place. It was a very important.
You wanted to go there.
It was really good.
Yeah.
I didn't
even know what I was eating,
but it was pretty dang good. Kimchi, but like we talked. It was not just us going out to dinner, right? We talked business. We got stuff done.
Yeah.
And so I got to write off part of the meal. But here's the thing about it: not a lot of people know this. There's a lot of these nuances why you have to talk to someone who knows more than you, because you have to keep the physical receipt.
Yep.
Which is insane to me.
Yeah.
For I think 5 years at least. So I have a drawer, in the office where I physically keep it in there, and I go out to eat a lot.
So let me show you this, guys. It's so you have the tax strategy, bookkeeping, and tax preparation.
I like to call it filing taxes.
Filing taxes, but those are the 3 parts of how you structure a wholesale business. And the idea is you want them all to work together. If you have 3 completely different people doing it, it is a challenge. I've tried it every which way. I'm telling you, they all have to communicate and talk to each other.
And by the way, we're not trying to stress you out talking to you about this. The reason why we say this is you could save so much money. For example, if you have a car, that car is a marketing vehicle. You could technically put that car owned by the company, right?
You have to have it titled in the company.
You have to do it the right way, but you have to do it the right way, and you can appreciate the car. You
Correct.
can write off a lot of your gas while you're driving for dollars.
We're going to go over that. I got that in here.
You take Shoddy out to dinner. That could be a business meeting. I'm not giving, this is not advice, but like, guys, you could save 30, 40, 50 grand a year extra once you start making some real money in this business. The worst thing I find are people that are paying for X leads, they're paying for all this marketing, and they're not writing it off.
Yep.
And it's not that here's the thing, it's not that you save 30 grand. Oh, it's not worth the 30 grand hassle.
Mm-hmm.
Because like, well, I have to spend 3 grand or 2 grand for an accountant or whatever. I'm talking about 30 grand times 10 years. It's 300 grand. 300 grand compounded, almost $1 million if you're young like me, right?
Yep.
So this is the reason why we're saying it's very, very important you know how to do this. And here's the biggest one. The biggest one. Okay. Knock on wood, God forbid, right? Let's say, for example, that you're wholesaling and, poop hits the fan, right? And now you get sued for, and you guys, anyone could sue you for something, right? My example is, if you tie your shoe a way that I don't like it, I could technically sue you for it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone could sue you for anything. But if you get sued, just know that if you have an LLC, you are protected versus if you didn't have it, right? So for example, let's say you and your wife own, I don't know, she owns her car or whatever, right? And you guys are married.
Yeah.
And, you bought a Mercedes and it's owned personally by you guys. And let's say you do something stupid in wholesaling and they try to sue. Okay. And they're going to try to sue you for all the assets the LLC owns. Well, if you didn't have an LLC, then that car, you can get attacked. That $40,000, you can get sued for it. But I just have an LLC and there's no money in the LLC and there's not many assets in the LLC.
Correct. So guys, we're talking about legal and your tax implications, and they work together, but they are separate. And most people stop at the EIN
And so
number.
another example is, let's say, for example, all right, Rick Ginn decides he is going to cold call me and I am a jerk, right? Now, I can't even sue you for this, but let's say people could sue you for anything, right? Let's say you cold call me and say, I'm on the DNT, and like, I just want to go attack. I want to kill you, right? I see Rick Ginn's rich. He's got all this money. He's got this. Let's say, for example, Rick owns this $300,000 boat, okay? But he owns that in another company, right? Because he's smart depreciation, right? Under his, capital investment company, he owns that, right?
Mm-hmm. Let's
say wholesale company cold calls me, and I'm gonna get Rick's boat. I'm gonna take that boat from you, sue you, right?
Yeah.
I sue you, and I say, I give my lawyer $2 or $3 grand. I'm like, dude, I'm getting this massive boat. I'm gonna give him for everything, emotional distress, the whole thing. And we go. I try to sue you, and I'm like, and let's say, for example, I win a lawsuit against you for $500,000 in your wholesaling company, and you have $1,000 in that bank account. But I'm like, what? But go get his boat. I saw him in a nice boat. That's owned under another company. That's a separate company. That's the capital invest. What do you mean I can't get his boat? What about his car? He doesn't own that in the wholesaling company. Well, he has $1,000 in the. What are the business assets? $1,000. Oh shoot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's kind of, I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm telling you when you get a little higher level. So here's the problem. If I only know Rick only has $1,000 in that bank account, and I'm gonna have to give a lawyer $3,000 to sue you for I'm not even going to sue you anymore.
Happens all the time.
And that's why LLCs are very important, right? Now, car crashes and stuff like that, that's a different animal, right? Because sometimes that can go lots of ways. But I'm talking for like general, it's called torts. But basically general issues that you have, if you've been wronged, right? If you set up LLCs the right way, you can be protected. And my favorite part about LLCs are you can also form trusts, which we'll get into. The reason why I love trusts so much is, first and foremost, you need good real estate attorneys. But let's say that I want to sue you because I'm a renter or whatever. Or let's say I want to figure out. And a lot of people try to do this on us, which is so funny to us. But it's like, Zach, why can't I find the rental properties they own? I'm like, that's kind of the point. Not saying I'm trying to hide, but like guys, it's really scary. You can go and just look up most people's rentals that they own.
Yeah,
it's just it's a walking target on the back. Me on social medias I'm already a walking target. Someone's trying to sue me, right? Plenty of times. But it's like, well, you can't really sue what you don't know. So go try to find my rental properties. They're going to be under general LLCs and general, basically, trusts too. Here's the best part. If somebody owns an LLC, you can pretty much know who owns the LLC, right?
Yep.
But let's say the trust is owned by an LLC. You can't really tell that. So if let's say I have this $500,000 rental property and I call it let's say it's on 123 4th Avenue. I'm going to call it the 123 4th Avenue Trust. and you go look up the corporate documents. Who signed the deed? Michael Rosenberg signed the deed because he is a trustee of the trust.
Correct.
It's like, okay, let's look up Michael Rosenberg. Oh, wait, he's a trust lawyer. Dang it. Hey, Michael Rosenberg, who owns this property? That's a private client. I have attorney-client privilege. I can't tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
Dang it. How am I going to sue the owner of this guy? You have to give it to the lawyer, and then the lawyer's the trustee. And you're like, so let's say you start running up, when you start running up 10, 20, 30, 40, $50 million of rental properties, you're not going to be a target anymore. And then who owns the trust? Well, LLC does.
Yeah.
And you can do it all. And again, I didn't perfectly do the lawyers kind of have it set up in their own way, but it's really good to protect your assets. That's all I could tell you to do. All right.
And guys, it's easy. He's giving you more advanced strategies. What our goal today is to show you, if you got started wholesaling in 2025, to show you how to set up the structure. Now, if you already did it and you screwed it up, that's fine. At least you're aware of it and we can fix it. But I just want to show you the correct way to set it up. And I'm like giving you my honest, free advice because I've been through this. And have so many times I've had to correct stuff. If somebody had gave me this live stream when I was younger, it would have saved me hundreds of thousands of dollars. And that's what I want to go with you now. So what we want to do is go over here and say, you should okay, what's your wholesale tax strategy? This is the easiest part of the presentation. I don't know about you, but here, this right here, just
this
stream.
one. Oh, that's what I thought you meant. Mike, what presentation are you talking about?
So here's my strategy. Pay the least amount of taxes legally possible. That should be your strategy. If that's not your strategy,
that's my strategy.
I can't help you, but that's what we all want to do. The key word here is legally, because some of you all think you know everything. And I'm just telling you, you can, when you pay your taxes, the IRS has this thing where they usually take about 5 years before they come back and go, hey, I think we have a problem. That's how you get the phone call and the audit and stuff like that. But this should be your strategy. If this isn't your strategy, shut the live stream off because I can't help you going forward. The question is, how do we implement the strategy and we don't give up all our money doing it? And it's very, very simple to do. And I want to show you how to do it. So let me pull this up here. So you got to understand, most bookkeepers that you guys are going to deal with, especially your hometown bookkeepers, I'm going to tell you what they are, and I'm probably going to piss off a few of them. They're just compliance officers. They will look at your taxes at that moment, that time, and tell you how to comply. The problem is you have to have a strategy to move forward to actually make this work.
There you go. Just write that down. There you go.
So honestly, as a wholesaler, if you go and hire your local CPA, they're going to go, what is wholesaling? That's like walking into a title company. Go, do you do assignments? They go, what's an assignment agreement? Would you actually do business with that title company? If you're going to use your mom and dad's CPA, you're probably going to pay the most amount in taxes you've ever paid in your life. Why? Because they don't even understand what you're doing, and you have to understand it. So if we know we want to pay the least amount of taxables, let's do this. Let's pull up. So everybody know how taxes works in the United States. It's basically a progressive tax scale. And I want to put this up there because I don't know why they don't teach this in school, but that's your tax rate. And basically the first up to 11,600, you pay 10%. And then from 11,601 to 47 and change, you pay 12%, and you keep working it up there.
So you pay 22% on anything above 40. So a lot of people think that, oh, you make 243 to this much, you have to pay 35 flat. It's not a flat tax. So you pay 12% from 11 to 47 from here. And so here's a better chart. And I really like how the IRS, actually, I shouldn't really say that. I regret saying that.
Well, I put the IRS up there on purpose.
But this is basically what they say. They say you pay 10% up to here, you pay 12% of this much, and 22. And so the net tax on that's most likely roughly what is that? That's you're probably paying around 15% roughly on that ish. Yeah. So you're not paying 22. That's a common misconception that not a lot of people know.
And so a lot of people have to understand on the tax thing is, where do most people wind up? Most people are at that 100 grand and below. So most people are paying sub 20, 18%. And that's it. You're a W-2 employee, you pay the max amount and you move on. But what I want to do is show you, where am I on the screen here? Is there's better ways to do it. So I want you guys to make a ton of money in wholesaling. You're going to get assignment fees, all this stuff. The question is like, how much can we keep legally? So if we do that, what I need you to do right now is you have to remember how I told you had to kill the old version of yourself to become the new version. I've been raised my entire life as a W-2 employee. Like take my 21, 24% for federal tax withholding, my Medicare, my Social Security. And if I'm lucky enough, I get a 401k deduction because only the biggest corporations get those advantages. And you got to stop thinking like a W-2 employee. You have to become educated. So what you really want to understand is this. What's the difference between pre-tax dollars and after-tax dollars? Zach talked earlier about expenses, the gas in your car, the wear and tear, the maintenance on car, the brakes, the tires. What about the software costs? X leads, any other service? What about the meals you eat? What about that phone you're talking on? I know that T-Mobile bill's running up. And guys, listen, we talk about travel.
It's like 1972. You don't pay per minute anymore.
Okay. Per text. Anyways,
oh gosh,
you
don't pay per text either.
Most of you guys, listen, let's face it.
Lord.
You take a vacation. If you're a W-2 employee, you take a vacation, you get 1 or 2 weeks off a year. Hopefully you don't go to Disney. That's another topic. But say you go to California, whatever, and say you spend 10 grand on the whole family on vacation. I don't know about you, but like if I make 100 grand and then I lose 22% to taxes, and now what's that leave me about? After all the holding, whatever, 75, 80 grand, then I take 10 grand and pay for a vacation. What if we showed you how you could actually take a working vacation? It's called a corporate retreat and actually get the full deduction on pre-tax dollars. Do you know how much of a savings that is to you? I can easily show you how to put 30, 40, 50 grand right back in your pocket that you guys were giving away as W-2 employees. You see, what if I showed you the exact rules you can play that Apple operates on, Coca-Cola? You have the exact same legal right in the United States if you form the LLC properly, your corporation, whatever it is, because you could take the exact same advantages that they do. But most of you think, no, that's way above my head. I'm telling you, it's not. It's actually really simple. Most of my tax strategies, they didn't come from me. I am not that bright. I had other people teach them to me, and they would show me, hey, I can save you 30. I can save you 50. To the point they started saving me 6 figures. Now we're looking at 7-figure savings. But I had to start somewhere. I screwed it up so bad the first 7 years. It's ridiculous. I wish somebody showed me that. So we talk about after-tax and pre-tax dollars, guys. Mm-hmm. You have to understand the difference. What if you could take that pre-tax dollars and actually you would giving yourself an instant raise? In fact, you give yourself like a 25% raise right off the bat. Oh, yeah. If you have the right structure and it's set up. And that's what I want to show you. Even listen, if you made 100 grand in wholesaling in your first year and say you had $100,000 payroll, you would earn 25% more just as the wholesaler, and you would have more time to yourself and you would have more control over your decisions, your financial being, and your time. And I want you to understand that when you do that. So if we know that, let me throw another one out for you. Guys, what do you think of 401ks? Some of you guys call them 201s or so, because you feel like market went down. But most of you, like 401ks, you realize that was created to benefit the most powerful people in business, to control people's money that what? They don't want to deal with it. They don't want to understand it. And so they control. These are ginormous hedge funds. And if you understand that, if we talk about 401ks, SEPs, and HSAs. So real quick, everybody knows about a 401k because your employer offered it. If you have a certain type of business structure set up, once again, it depends on the entity and the class you set up and how you pay yourself is you can actually pay yourself in pre-tax, not pay yourself, set of money in the market. You can do pre-tax dollars on it, and you can actually invest it in real estate if you do it the right way. But what you can do, guys, is you get the advantages of it. And guess what? You can take up to 25%. There is a cap on, I think it's 63, 64 grand this year.
Talk to a tax person for this stuff. Again, we're
Correct.
not giving tax advice.
I'm giving you ideas, but why, if you don't have a 401k, a wholesaler can have a plan. A SEP, that's just another version of it. And there's also called an HSA, which is a health savings account. Those guys, your deductibles, your out-of-pocket expenses, you can pay with that with all pre-tax dollars. Once again, you got to talk to someone. I can't emphasize this enough. Your entity classification is the most critical part of your tax structure. And the reality is, when you're a new wholesaler, you already designate that with little to no knowledge. And most of you are just trying to save money because you don't know. And so if you can go back in time and go, okay, entity classification, that's so important, it would be extremely powerful when you do this. Guys, the designation that you do for your entity class with the IRS is going to dictate your wholesale business strategy. And without it, you're going to have to adapt. You're going to have to make a ton of changes, and it could be very, very expensive for you. So if we understand that, we talked about bookkeeping either. I'm just giving you examples. You got to make decisions. How are you going to pay yourself? Are you going to do payroll? Is there a self-employment tax? Do I do a distribution? Once again, how are you set up correctly? How do I take deductions legally? You know, like meals, what percentage do I get to take? A lot of people don't know this. Guys, what do you think of like a balance sheet? So we have a profit and loss, which is with basic bookkeeping, which you put your income minus your expenses. But did you know the IRS is going to require you, once you have gross receipts of over 250,000, you have to file a balance sheet and submit it with your federal tax return. Now, most of you are going to well exceed that as a wholesaler. And I got to tell you, I went years not understanding this, and balance sheets are like, it took me years to understand it. If you work with a good tax strategy, they explain it to you, because a balance sheet gives you a true health of anyone's business. It basically shows you how much money you owe, what your liabilities are, and what your net worth is when you do it. So we have to, like, how am I supposed to understand this all when I start out? Like, this is nuts. Do you have to do it in the first year? Probably not, but you need to set the books up correctly. This just comes to good bookkeeping and everything you need to do. And then we talked about tax prep earlier. You have your federal taxes, you have your business tax, your personal tax,
State.
and then a lot of you guys don't know is you get a state tax. I remember getting a bill from the state. I'm like, are you kidding me? I have to pay it. So like in perfect
Not in Florida.
So in Florida, it depends.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, for the corporate one, yeah, corporate.
Yeah.
State.
So it's
But you
like
go to
there's
C-corp.
so some of you have state income tax. And the idea is, how are we going to know this all as a wholesaler? It's really frustrating. And I took 7 years to try to solve these problems. I'm showing you how to do this right now. So, guys, here's the real problem here. You want to explain it?
Yeah, here's the main issue. Okay, so we kind of talked about the reason why you want to create an LLC and even an S corp or a C corp, all this stuff, right, is so you can pay less in taxes and protect yourself, right? So here's the main issue that me and Rick have always come when it comes to this stuff. First and foremost, you go find a CPA locally. The first thing they're going to say is, what is wholesaling? I don't understand it. And they're going to, oh, is this, is this capital gains tax? They don't understand it. What do you mean? You can't write off a car. That's, you're not driving to work. And I've had a lot of you guys have some nightmare stories about that, right? Because they just don't understand wholesaling. Bookkeepers, they are not CPAs, and they are completely different, which is a pain in the butt. Then when it comes to filing taxes, then they're all kind of insane because they don't understand wholesaling, and they just don't understand what wholesaling real estate is, and they don't understand all the deductions. And some of I'll be straight up with you, and here's the main issue we've always had was a lot of CPAs, I would say a quarter of them, because I went to college, when I went to the University of Florida, and I was in my accounting class, right? And it's kind of funny because they're all trying to get into the Fisher School of Accounting and do the whole, mergers, acquisitions things. A lot of these people were, how do I say this the right way? I was in the library, and we're all studying for like this accounting class, and they're all wanting to be accountants and stuff. The craziest part about it was they're all, how do I put this the right way? They're all Mr. and Mrs. You need to pay your fair share. They all were protesting the day before in Turlington Square about how we need to tax the rich and everyone needs to pay their fair share of taxes. And they're accounting majors. And a lot of CPAs get out of college brainwashed, and they believe that you're a rich jerk. You need to pay me, I'll do your accounting, and you need to pay the most. You need to pay your fair share of taxes. And so a lot of CPAs, they'll give you some basic write-offs, but they're not going to tell you certain things because they don't, to be honest, they don't want you, they don't really care if you pay more or less in tax. They say, here's the tax bill. And you'd be scared. Most CPAs are like this, right? So you need to find a CPA that actually believes that taxation's theft and that paying taxes is not good. Those are the CPAs you need to do. You just got to understand that some CPAs out here do not care. I'm being straight up with you. They do not care.
Officers.
They do not care. They're pushing paper and say, oh, this is what you owe in taxes. These are very expenses. They're not going to go above and beyond and help you out. And so that's kind of the point. You need to deal with someone that actually wants you to pay the least amount in taxes. Legally, by the way, legally. And you need someone that actually knows what they're doing, that has dealt with certain situations. And so here's the issue, right? We've kind of talked about, we haven't made a tax video on wholesaling, right for this? 4 years. It's been 4 years. The last video on taxes and LLCs I made, I had long hair. That's how old it was. And you were skinny because you were running all the time. And so
I'm not okay.
Oh yeah. And so that's how long it's been since we talked about this. And we've had the same issue, right? We've seen so many wholesalers get destroyed on this. And so what we've decided when we were launching the free wholesaling course on Monday, we actually just launched this Monday. We're introducing finally wholesalingtax.com. What wholesalingtax.com is, it's the first and only wholesaling CPA tax firm, bookkeeping, corporate service firm, whatever you're going to call, for wholesalers. Basically what this means is wholesalingtax.com is going to help you file your LLC. They'll tell you if you got to file an S Corp or file a C Corp based on your situation. They will figure out how much money you're making, all this stuff. They'll do the bookkeeping for you. They will file the taxes for you, and they'll give you a tax strategy on how to pay the least amount in taxes.
And get you an operating agreement.
They'll get you an operating agreement. They'll help you set up your business LLC at the bank account, and they'll do all this stuff. They'll do the articles of incorporation. They'll help you create trust if you want to get into trusts. They'll do wills and all this stuff. And basically what we did was, most people know who we're partnering with, but we've partnered with Prime on this. The reason why we partner with them is, first and foremost, they're like, they wanted us to just, here's an affiliate, and then it goes to them. I said, no, we're not doing this. What I'm going to do is, you're going to take your employees, I'm going to train them about wholesaling, and I'm going to tell them everything. And then Prime came in and helped train them too. And basically what this basically means is, when you go to wholesalingtax.com, when you sign up with them and use the CPAs, they are going to be trained about wholesaling real estate. They know about double closing. They know exactly how to classify double closing income. They know how to classify rental property income, and they're specifically for real estate investing and wholesaling
Assignments.
So they actually understand assignments versus double closings, and they know exactly the correct way to do everything on there. They know how to deal with income they know how to do income cross state lines too with wholesaling and assignments, because they understand this, right? So if you live in Texas and you did a deal in California, right, virtual wholesaling in Fresno, they know exactly how to create the right structures. And so we kind of partnered with Prime on this, and we called it wholesalingtax.com. So a lot of people will use Prime. Prime is going to be, I'll be honest with you, they're going to be different than wholesalingtax.com because they're not trained by us. And so the coolest part about it is, what we're doing is, we kind of have we're doing a thing with them where basically they'll make your LLC for free. You just got to pay the state fees. So that's pretty dang cool. So what I'm telling you to do is, if you want to set up an LLC for wholesaling, if you go to wholesalingtax.com, it will cost $0 to set up your LLC. You just got to pay wherever the state
fees. That's it.
And they can do it in every state. Like within minutes, they can make your LLC for you, make your operating agreement, and send all the agreements over so you can go get a bank account opened. That is the most insane thing. And they lose a lot of money doing that. And I made sure they were going to lose money doing that. And the point is, they want you to use them for the taxes and stuff like that. So it's pretty dang cool. So it's wholesalingtax.com. They will make your LLC for free, and it's pretty dang cool.
And they have the same goals as we do with our course. And freewholesaling.com is, if they show you enough value and set it up, as you grow your business, they'll show you things to coordinate your tax strategy as it changes, as your income changes over time. They have great bookkeeping options for you. and they can help you with tax prep or advise you and do it. So you can finally have somebody kind of quarterback the whole thing. I never had this stuff available when I started, and honestly, it cost me a fortune. And the main reason most of you don't do it is because you think you're going to get hit over the head with a ginormous expense up front. I'm telling you, go through it, because at least you can get some advice on what you're doing and get it set up. And then as you start making money, then you have to go to someone that actually helped you, like when nobody else would help you, and get you up and going. I mean, I've seen like companies, like huge amounts of money is just even set up an LLC and stuff like that. So we partnered with them. They understand how our operation is. And with this, if you go through wholesalingtax.com, it's specifically for wholesalers. So we've already done the training. We've done it. Me and Zach work with them, and they understand us. So if you go through it on that site, they'll know exactly what you're referring to. They understand what you're doing. And then guys, it's a no-brainer now, because I think the biggest resistance, people go, oh my God, I got to pay a ton of money. No, get the right setup, get the right designation. And then if they helped you set up your business, you're naturally going to go back to them because they helped you when nobody else would help you. And guys, I didn't have this luxury. Zach didn't have it. All the pain we've gone through, we've tried to find the best way to give you guys the best recipe for success. You have to have a tax structure. Otherwise, you're guessing. And if you're guessing and then you're going to give your taxes the first quarter of next year, it's too late. So check it out. Don't be like Rick. Don't wait 7 years to figure it out and pay 6 figures to try to fix it. And those of you who've already set it up, there's still time to fix it. You still have the rest of the year. But like November, December, it's too late. January, it's definitely over. So you have time. So listen, I want to talk about wholesaling, but like the last thing I want you to do, if you guys do nothing, your partner is the United States government. And they're not a great partner. They just take. And if you don't give it to them, they'll take it by force. So listen, paying taxes is a pain in the butt. Making money is sometimes a pain in the butt, but like just choose your heart. If you pre-plan this, and we've set up a strategy where it's not really going to cost you any money, and then as you grow your business, you use freewholesaling.com, you talk to me and Zach, and you actually get deals done, you're going to thank us 1,000 times later. I promise you. I missed this live stream when I had it, when I started wholesaling. And if I can help just one person on this, my job's been done.
Yeah. Well, the main reason you guys are going to see us talk about wholesalingtax.com, guys, we're not making many tax or LLC videos. So this is why we're just trying to make it today, to let you know why we're talking about wholesalingtax.com, because we've had thousands upon thousands upon thousands of you sign up for X Leads, get an LLC on Ninja mode, and then you guys don't know what you're doing, and you guys filed it the wrong way. So let us just make the LLC for you for free, wholesalingtax.com. And then if you want to file tax, if you want to go use the tax services we got there, wholesalingtax.com, check it out. But they are specifically trained for wholesaling. I do not want you guys to go to some dang CPA and then they're like, what's wholesaling? And they do it the wrong way. There's really bad CPAs, and these ones know exactly what wholesaling real estate is and help you out the most. Now, question is, do you need to use them? You do not have to use wholesalingtax.com. Don't feel like I'm pressuring you or making you do it. But I will tell you, why would you not use them? Because the LLC is literally going to be created in minutes absolutely for free. No, that's the way I kind of look at it. And you go from there. And if you're spending at least $3,000 and you own a car, you'll save on average $2,000 to $3,000 from rough
right
numbers.
Off the bat.
So you'll save at least $2,000 if you never even do a wholesaling deal. And so that's why I think wholesalingtax.com, I got asked a lot, does wholesalingtax.com deal with things outside of wholesaling? Yes, they do. They specialize in wholesaling, but they can use anything else too. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, truth. Guys, I floundered for 7 years on this. It's a simple, you have to have a tax strategy. You got to keep good bookkeeping, and you got to make sure you form an LLC. Now, there's a lot more details in that. And like, we don't know, like a lot of you are new to wholesaling. That's fine. So at least just get some basic setup and just get the foundation set right. And then as you change and you make more money, then you can adapt. Well, if somebody knew you from the day they set up, then it's a natural progression to go back to you. So if they helped you. So a lot of you guys come back to me and Zach, because we didn't charge you to learn wholesaling. We actually gave you the facts, showed you how to do it, and said, you got to go bust your butt. And then you come back and you do JV deals with us. You meet us at our lives. You purchase our software through X Leads. Why? Because you trust us. and you know we're always there for you.
Well,
But
we had to create wholesaling tax because when this new course just dropped, which
Yeah.
everyone knows at freewholesaling.com, you guys are gonna be making a lot more money, and you need to write it off. So that's kind of the point. I think it kind of worked kind of perfectly together.
Yeah.
But if you want to pay the least amount of taxes legally, please do me a favor. Go to wholesalingtax.com. This was not. I was so stressed when I was 18 years old when I made my LLC. I didn't know how to do anything.
it's weird.
So if I could have done it for free, that's kind of the point. That's just the truth. Now you got to pay the state fees, but like, I mean, it's way easier. So that is how you pay taxes the least legally. Just go to wholesalingtax.com. They'll do the bookkeeping, CPA, stuff like that. And it makes your life a lot easier. So that's how you do it, wholesalingtax.com. What we want to do is answer some questions today and see how I can help you guys out wholesaling real estate. Again, I do get a lot of questions, so I do want to let everyone know. Zach, I know you just did you dropped everything. I'm so confused. What's the difference between ZachDiscord.com, freewholesaling.com, school? This is all so confusing. So let me explain this one last time. ZachDiscord.com is the link to access our Discord. That's a Discord community. It's pretty dang cool.
Yes.
It's the largest wholesaling Discord out there. Freewholesaling.com is our community access. That's our big community, right? Freewholesaling.com. I both now am able to host the same course on both platforms. So we have our communities on two platforms. We have Discord and we have school, right?
Yep.
Well, technically we have WAP and we have school. And so WAP and school are like big competitors with each other. I say I don't care. I'm just going to host them on both. And the point of this is everyone's like, well, Zach, why are you having WAP? What's going on with WAP? Why is this so? What's WAP? WAP. The reason why I created a free WAP for everyone is because it's basically like a mall. Maybe like, what do you mean by it's a mall? Well, the biggest issue I had in the Discord was there are people, mostly young kids that don't know much about wholesaling, that will go into the Discord and then they'll go spam it. They'll spam it. What's up? How do I find a cash buyer? Oh, how do I get a deal? I'm so confused. So I made it a little more difficult to join the Discord. So you got to go to ZachDiscord.com. You have to sign up for WAP, which is free. You go in there and now you have a WAP account. So in there, you can access the Discord from there and you can access the course. So you have to basically walk through the course to get to the Discord. So you can't say, I don't know where Zach's course is. It's literally right there. You can't complain anymore.
We've learned.
And how freewholesaling.com works is that one's simple too, because once you're in the school, it's like the classroom's right there and the community is right there.
Yep.
And so I think you both need both because I really love school. I love school. Probably it's my favorite one, but it's hard to have like a big chat room of other wholesalers in school. You can make posts. That's cool. There's no chat, but Discord, it has that, right? So we have WAP and we have school, which is ZachDiscord.com and freewholesaling.com. The reason is I'm stopping all these Discord kids from going in here and not understanding how anything goes, and you're good to go. Now, which one should you sign up for? You guys need to sign up for both of them. The reason why you need to sign up for both of them is because obviously freewholesaling.com is the largest one, and that one's going to be obviously good. It's going to be the main one. But the cool part is we still have a lot of people learning from Discord. And every single Friday night at 8 o'clock, I do an exclusive live stream. And this exclusive live stream is only at ZachDiscord.com. Now, I used to record those the first like 20 minutes and post on my YouTube channel. I'm not doing that anymore, by the way. What I'm doing is I'm only going live in the Discord and I'm not recording it anymore. But the cool part is the recordings are going to be recorded by WAP. So WAP will actually record the stream and then only give the stream to the users in the Discord. So I'm actually doing a WAP live stream, which is connected to Discord tomorrow. I know it sounds confusing. If you just go to ZachDiscord.com, it's all in there. We talk about it, and I'll give everyone the links and everything, but I'm going to go live in ZachDiscord.com tomorrow, and the replay is only going to be for people in the Discord. It's going to be pretty dang cool.
I just hurt my head.
What do you mean hurt your head? Okay.
WAP, I got a Whoop. I got a
ZachDiscord.com. That's how you join the Discord.
Got it.
Freewholesaling.com have the community. Now, they both have the course hosted on them, so you don't get confused about the course.
Got it.
Yeah, the Discord's a lot. Now, there's a lot of people that love Discord, so it's pretty cool.
Okay.
Pretty dang cool. See, some people like WAP a lot more than school. I don't know why. It's just like some people like WAP. Some people, like the young kids, love the WAP. That they love school and WAP, and that they love WAP and Discord, and then they hate school. It's so weird. So that's why I made two. And again, we have now became the largest real estate school community, and now, as of today, we're the largest WAP for real estate, which is crazy.
WAP.
WAP, WAP, WAP.
I got to get rid of my whoop to go to the WAP.
And yeah, so it's pretty dang cool. So let's answer some questions, see what's going on with everyone, and go from there. Zach, are you adding a buy box to WAP? I'm experimenting a couple things just to make it cool. It's always going to be free. If you want a rental property, you are right there. Tori says, Zach with a K. Oof. That's an air ball.
It's okay.
I can't get into my ninja mode. I have active workflows. So Tori, most likely your card, probably your expiration on the card declined, and it probably kicked you out of the ninja mode because you didn't pay for it. Maybe not, but that is about 90% of the issue. There could be an issue where your account got paused due to something. I have no idea why. If your account got paused and it says pause, it seems like it got deleted. I don't know. It probably got deleted because you didn't pay for it. If you pay for it, then we could probably give you your access back on there. But if the account got paused, all you have to do is just email billing. So just email billing@xleads.com. So a lot of people have that issue. They're like, Zach, oh my gosh, what's going on with the ninja mode or whatever, right? I just go to billing@xleads.com and your problem will be solved, right? Within 24 hours, we always answer every ticket and we help you out. So let's see here. There's a lot of, there is so much. There is so much in the free course. I think people are still going through that.
Yeah, it was a lot of work.
Yeah, so if you have any ninja mode questions, just email billing@xleads.com. You'll actually get an answer faster billing than anything else because they do things pretty dang quick.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty cool. Let's see here. Everyone likes school. Let's see. Rick is still skinny. He was skinny.
Oh, thank you.
When you were running like 10 miles a day. You were skinnier.
I was bored, man. That was a tough time. I think I had virtual wholesaling. My God.
Oh, that was interesting. Yeah, let's see here. Yeah, not eat the rich. See the questions you got. What about a sub S compared? So you're talking about a S corporation compared to LLC. Again, I'm not a tax professional, so I can't give legal and tax advice. But the one thing I'll tell you is a S corporation you can do a lot more write-offs. And I prefer S corps over LLCs. That's just me. But
yeah, I've done every one, and I'm not proud of it. But the only reason I did every one is because I didn't know. I just kind of I didn't know about the Form 8832. So once again, guys, the biggest thing is when you set up your LLC is you have to declare a designation for the entity. And that's honestly where you need to get some feedback from someone who has experience to kind of let you know what the implications of how you do it. If you don't do it right, all you got was legal protection from being sued personally. So, so if you made, like 250 grand wholesaling and you had to pay through it through your personal taxes, you didn't set it up right, it could be extremely painful. So the idea is we just want you to get like good, solid advice. And remember, everybody's a little bit different. Some of you guys have partners. Most of you are doing it solo. I just opened it up because that's what someone told me to do. And then I saw an accountant a year later. I saw the wrong accountant. I had the wrong entity structure and I had no bookkeeper. It's like Helen Keller trying to like walk around a maze. It was terrible. I know it was a terrible analogy, but like, I don't want anybody to have to go through what I did, but I'm an ADHD type. I was so deep in the wholesaling, I just ignored the tax thing. And I know a lot of you guys kind of do the same thing. So you have options now. I just want to explain it to you so you understand. So just don't set up an LLC and get an EIN number. There's a lot more you need to do.
Mason says, what structure should I follow for call reviews with my cold caller? He's been getting much less leads and I'm not sure why. Well, Mason, I mean, I'll be straight up with you, dude. We got to put Freelson. You need to go to Freelson.com, man. Remember, we deleted everything and revamped the course, right? But basically, what structure should I follow for call reviews? I mean, Mason, first and foremost, before you try to point your finger at the VA and say, you're the problem.
Yeah.
That's what most entrepreneurs we do. What you probably should do is look at your own KPIs and stats. And what I mean by this is how many calls did they make, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many people picked up the phone? What was the contact rate?
Your KPIs.
Because I was talking to a guy yesterday with a 3% contact rate, and he was trying, we're like, do we blame the VAs or not? I mean, you have a 3% contact rate. It's because your phone numbers are spam. You can't blame the VA for that, right? So you have to look at your own things. Now, there could be, the problem is there's so many variables of why your leads are going down. It could be your skip tracing. It could be anything, right? If you're using X leads and it's never a skip tracing issue, what I'd probably tell you right now is most likely your numbers are probably spam. If out of the blue everything starts changing, that's most likely the reason. Let's see. Robin says, why does Prime have a $470 charge for a complementary entity? So Robin, most likely they're going to charge you on the second LLC. So again, the first LLC is going to be free, but you probably have to pay if you're going to make multiple LLCs. Does that make sense? You can't, the reason is you can't go out here and make 100 LLCs for free.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It's one.
You can't go out here and be like, I'm going to make me 500 LLCs for free. It's probably for an extra LLC, my guy, Robin. It's free. The first LLC is going to be free. So just.
That's the agreement.
That's the agreement, Robin. And if there is an issue, please let me know. Let's see. And most likely you got charged for the state fees. I think in California, it's almost like $500 to make an LLC.
Yeah, and every state's a little bit different.
Probably in California. I mean, I got to look, obviously.
Well, I just kind of gave an average, but I thank God I have an open one in every other state. Maybe 9 or 10 states, but
Jeremiah says, how can I contact you guys to JV deal on the Trojan Coast? Jeremiah, just go to sellmypaper.com.
please.
And that'll be let's get some deals done.
It's a very similar name to someone we know.
Oh yeah. Jeremiah.
Is that wild?
Boyer.
Yeah.
Boyer.
Anyways.
It's different.
It's not him.
There we go. Let's see here. Thank you, everything. Thanks, Luz. Appreciate it. Yes, every state is different on how they. So, does the state to file an LLC matter? Yes, it does. Holy moly! Also, on top of that, too, guys. Let's see. We're gonna start pretty hard in the paint starting next week. On giving you guys. So now we have the free wholesaling course created. Next week, we're gonna kind of get pretty tough on you on making sure you actually start using the course content and start getting success. This week, we're just celebrating the creation of the course and communities, and we're going to revamp this thing like crazy. And so I do recommend everybody, if you go to freewholesaling.com, start downloading the free CRM we created for you guys, the free, basically game plan you have to create, then go through the videos. I'm going to give everyone a week to go through the videos. You should get through a week. Once you get through that course, we're pushing you pretty hard. Now, another reason is starting July 1st, we are starting our 30-day wholesaling challenge. Everyone who's in that challenge should already go through this course. Now you got through the course, now you have the information, you'll be good to go. Yes. So if you haven't received access to those courses, make sure you DM me the word WAP. We are still getting through as many as we possibly can. But this weekend, everyone should be able to get their course access. So what I basically mean is if you review our WAP and you DM me the word WAP on school with a screenshot of your review, we are going to give you 5 bonus courses inside of school. And it's Rick's probate course we're going to give out. We're going to give out recorded appointments from me and Rick we've done and some other stuff. Yeah. Now, again, it's going to take a couple days to get there because we have a lot of people reviewing the WAP. But let me show you exactly how it works again. So you don't get instant access because someone has to manually give you the access, but it's pretty dang cool. And so if you go to freewholesaling.com and we show you the instructions, if you want to get Rick's probate course, the Digital Bandit Sign Academy, Creative Finance Gold, all this stuff, all you have to do is go to WAP, just go to zachdiscord.com, leave a review, DM me the word WAP with a screenshot, or you can comment below this thing, and we will go manually give you access to the course. We gave about 400 people access already. We probably have another 300 to get to, which it'll get done even this weekend, right? Again, I'm not doing it. So we're going to help you out with that and hope you have the best success doing it. Now, you got to remember this. The reasons like, well, why do you make people do that? First and foremost, reviewing the WAP will be pretty cool. It gives your honest review of what you actually believe the WAP is. and it actually incentivizes you to leave a review of how you feel about the course. Also, it helps new wholesalers be like, oh, wow. The problem is why I'm trying to give you reviews on WAP is so many people, we're getting hundreds of people joining the WAP that don't know who I am every single day. And they say, wait, Zach's teaching wholesaling for free. What's the catch? And they think I'm scamming them. So I need a bunch of reviews in there so people know I'm not scamming these kids. All right. And yeah, it's absolutely crazy. And then on top of that too, I don't want 5,000 people. I don't want 36,000 people to have access to the recorded appointment series because it's kind of sensitive information, right? Yeah. And I don't want it on YouTube. I don't want it publicly for everybody. But like we have a lot of these recordings of us doing subject to deals and all these other deals that we're just trying to keep it on the DL, down low. So only people that review the WAP, then we'll give you the access to it. So it's pretty cool. So all you have to do is go to Wholesaling.com. It's right there. Let's see here. Let's see here. It says my account is too new for WAP. Yeah, you need to go out here and actually like some comments, participate, join the Discord, and you'll be able to leave a review after that.
Yeah, if you can't get active in the groups, how are you going to get active in wholesaling?
You got to get active. That's Margarita says, thank you. Easy, appreciate it. Some people left a 1-star review. Yes, they did. Insane. But hey, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. Be a real review. I hate that Zach gave this for free. I wish he paid.
It's terrible.
You guys were so upset. Guys, I said this on Tuesday. I know your opinion on it. I had so much hate on Friday and over the weekend. It was insane. You're a sellout, Zach. The DMs were insane. That you're a sellout. I knew you would do this. I knew you were never a man of your like the craziest stuff.
When the tide goes out, you can find out.
Man, like I didn't know there was so much pent up hate for me.
To be fair, though, we did have 3 people send a redaction going.
I
apologize.
I had hundreds of people say I apologize.
I doubted you. Like you have reaffirmed my faith in the Ginns. I'm just like,
I was like, geez, man.
I feel
what's up with all? I was like, wow. Yeah, and then all the wholesaling coaches were like, wow. I got some nasty DMs. I knew you'd do this. You were always a sucker. I was like, I'm reading this on Saturday. I'm like, wait till Monday, bro.
Yeah.
And so many people thought we were going to sell. And guys, I want you to understand this. I had every right to go charge you $50 a month for that thing.
It's the American
or $5,000. Yeah. I had every right, and I would have made a ton of money. Okay. One thought I was starting a family and retiring from YouTube. Like, bro, what? Are you serious? Guys, I've said this multiple times. The day I have a kid and I start having kids, it's over because think of how hard I'm going to help the people out. When I start having kids, I'm going to have to go harder on helping people just to show my kids, what the right thing to do is.
Yeah.
So I'm doing this without any kids and not being married. Just imagine I'm married with kids, how much harder in the pain I'm going to go. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Get out of here. Right.
It was fun.
Yeah. We definitely shook everyone up and we decided we wanted to create the largest WAP for real estate. That got done pretty dang quick. And we're going to go harder. And we're going to be one of the largest school groups out there. And it's going to be pretty cool. And just our community just keeps growing. It's absolutely amazing. It means the world to me.
I just love, dude, that comment for that week was eye-opening.
Those comments are still there. You can go check it out.
I had to screenshot a few of them. And like some of you guys know what I mean, but I do give credit for the people that actually said, I'm sorry, I was wrong. But unfortunately, there was only so many that did that. So that takes real guts to do something like that.
Just attacked. And because I've said no to 8 figures this year of just course fees that we could have done, but we decided to keep Wholesaling.com free.
Yeah.
We said no to tens of millions of dollars. And that's not a joke. We could have done that. And we could have done the mastermind for 40 grand and got you out. And then we could have done the whole thing. I decided to say no to that.
Marathon over sprinter. Like I've been doing this 23 years. Like if you guys thought we were going to sell out now. And do we have the right? Yeah. Like honestly, if we want to do that, like I honestly wouldn't care, but like it's,
I had every right to delete that entire course and just leave you hanging. And I did it for over the weekend.
Yeah. So not only that, we revamped the whole thing. We updated it to 2025. And we have the ability with all these new tools to really like keep it fresh. So But you guys have to get in there and you actually have to apply the information. You're going to have to take the action. It's not going to do it for you. So we do it to answer your most common questions, how to get started, and take away your excuse of, I don't have any money. I didn't have any money when we started. He didn't. A lot of you watching this are the same thing. So you just got to go out and get it. So if you know it can be taken away, pretend it's going away tomorrow and just consume the information. And then most importantly, go out and take the action.
I agree. So guys, we have a massive live stream tomorrow in the WAP. So if you go to zachdiscord.com, you'll join the WAP. You'll be in the Discord and the course, and I can live stream finally in that course, which is really cool. School, we're going to be able to start live streaming in school pretty dang quick too. So that's going to be really
That'll
cool.
be great.
And so I'm going to go live stream inside the communities. Unfortunately, I have to live stream on YouTube, and I can actually live stream in the WAP, which is cool. But I will tell you this though, go to zachdiscord.com tomorrow, join the WAP. I will live stream there at 8 o'clock. It's going to be massive. And it's never going to be recorded outside of the community. So you can only be in there to access the recordings, and it's going to be secret. And I can say some things I can't say on YouTube. That's all I could say. And it makes me very happy to do that. And that's all I can say on there. So guys, join freewholesaling.com, go to zachdiscord.com, and I will see you in the communities, and let's start wholesaling real estate. Let's get it. Appreciate it, guys.
See you guys.
There we go. Hold on. We're still